Thursday, July 19th, 2012. Can you please read the public
Sunshine Law?
note? Yes, Sunshine Law, please.
Adequate notice of this meeting was given in accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act by mailing the schedule of the Township Committee to the Express Times and North Star Ledger newspaper, posting a copy on the Township Bulletin Board, and filing a copy with the Township Clerk.
Can you please join me for a salute to the flag?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Siegel, absent. Perez,
Here.
Valari, absent. Miliani, here. Toriello,
Here. Before we begin tonight's meeting, as many of you know, we've all either been following the story in the paper or have been personally involved in search efforts for the unhappy ending and loss of a lifelong resident of Greenwich Township, Matthew Clouser, who was the president and lieutenant of the Stewartsville Volunteer Fire Department. If you would please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. There have been many volunteers in the community. In fact, unfortunately, in crises like this, sometimes it's at those moments when you see the definition of community actually playing itself out. And there were both the volunteers of the fire department and rescue squad, as well as citizens of Greenwich Township, had worked tirelessly in search of, and hope for a more happy outcome than what had unfolded. And there were consistently members of our community who support Greenwich Township in so many ways. And I think it would be appropriate and fitting in this instance as mayor to send a thank you letter, and I intend on sending a thank you letter to to Joseph Colillo as well as their manager Rob Evans at ShopRite, and I understand that Pam at Print Plus had provided free copies for those search flyers. And is there anyone else in particular that, on this particular instance, that?
Troy Rush was going to provide me with a list. He told me everyone that's, Troy's a former volunteer.
Okay.
A volunteer firefighter. He's on, yeah.
Okay.
I'm
If you could prepare a thank you letter for my signature, that would be, I think, appropriate in this instance, and I'll be happy to execute those and get
Walmart,
those out.
Target also.
Walmart, you said? I'm sorry.
Walmart, Target.
Okay.
Jimmy's around the corner.
The deli.
Okay.
Yeah, Troy has a list.
Okay.
He
Yeah.
has a list.
At this time, can I have a motion to open up the meeting for public comment for agenda items only?
Make a motion.
Second.
Roll call? Or all those in
All
favor?
in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone wishing to make public comment, please come up to the podium. Seeing no hands, is there a motion to close public?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Can I have a motion to approve the monthly reports for the court and the police?
Make the motion.
Second.
Roll call?
Perez?
Yes.
Miliani? Yes. Toriello?
Yes. And can I have a motion to pay bills and claims?
Make the motion.
Second.
Roll call?
Perez?
Yes.
Miliani? Yes. Toriello?
Yes. Now, I guess on the agenda is the reports from our CFO.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I gave out a newly updated bill list for tonight's meeting. All of the POs, I think there were only 9 that were added, have a ill-shaped star next to them. Many thanks to Mary Ann. She did a great job getting all the additional purchase orders on the bill list. There's well over 100 of them, so it's kind of a big list for us. Now that we've finally gotten a much more steadier process in placing all of the purchase orders on the bill list and the entire purchasing process. We're going to start fine tuning and working with the user departments to help improve the efficiency of the overall process. Real quick update for taxes. Sherry, who just happened to be here this evening, is doing a great job working with the assessor and the assessor software company, which is Vital, and Edmunds, which is our finance, tax, utility, and animal software. She arranged for the Mod 4 tape to be sent to Edmunds from Vital. She processed all the paperwork necessary to get the bills effectuated and process and organize the whole affair for getting all the tax bills out, which I know everybody just can't wait to receive. The rate was just pretty much given to us today. I think it was faxed over earlier this week, but we constructively received it today. And she already has the bills all approved at Edmunds and ready to be printed. We are going to have Edmunds print the bills this year. They'll then forward them to us. We'll fold them, someone will fold them, stuff them, and get them in the mail.
Thank you, Sherry.
So that our taxpayers can lovingly receive them. The reason that we went with Edmunds is kind of a twofold thing. One, we don't really have enough time right now to do them. Two, we don't have the ability to print them because the blanks for the bills were not ordered last year or earlier this year. And being that we're all a little inexperienced with this, we didn't know that we had to have those. We kind of assumed that the blanks would have been here waiting to be used, but there was a little bit of error in judgment, and they weren't ordered ahead of time, so they weren't here for us to be able to print onto them.
Is that a process you would prefer to see? Is it more cost effective to have them printed here? I mean, imagine it would be.
I don't know how much Edmunds is going to charge. I can't imagine it would be much more than what the blanks themselves would have cost us, because they buy probably millions of them.
Oh,
They
yeah.
print bills for a huge municipality.
I don't think we ever did the research to actually see what the differences
do a
were,
price
so you
comparison.
might.
Can we do that just at least, so that at least, and then we can have a conversation as to whether it makes sense to do it in-house?
Absolutely.
Or
Sure.
to, I mean, rather than just assume, it probably is cheaper, but let's at least
Okay,
get that
That's no
information.
problem. We can have that for you in the next meeting. For a sewer update, both the commercial and annual residential bills were mailed out on or about July 1st. The commercial bills had a usage period of April 1st through June 30th. They are due August 1st. The residentials, the next due date is September 1st, and residential delinquent notices also went out right around July 16th to any residents that had balances open prior to the June 1st. Available tonight, hot off the press, are budget reports. They are updated with activity through today. There's a couple of new accounts that have been added to our system this year that we didn't have last year, additional sub-accounts, completing budget line items. So there were a considerable amount of budget journal entries to take the appropriation from where it was charged prior to budget adoption to correct it to where it should be now that we have all of our new accounts set up. So I believe I've gotten at least halfway through. If you all can take a look through the budget report and see if you see anything that looks very out of whack, it's very possible that I've missed something because I don't have a really good historical base of Greenwich's appropriations yet.
I think this is going to be a tremendous tool in allowing us to get a handle on things and not get blindsided. So I thank you for that. And
You're welcome.
it's really wonderment that it hadn't been in existence prior to tonight. So thank you for that.
You're welcome, no problem. Just one brief note on this. It's only a 5-page report. There, on the very last page is a summary of the totals, what our adopted budget was, what we've spent so far, what's encumbered, the actual balance that we have left. We have 47% of our budget left, and we are approximately 7 months through the year, so we're doing pretty good. We're right on track where we should be. Hopefully within the next couple of months, I'll have the revenue side of this available once I can get all the reconciliations up and going. I did create new binders for each of the funds. Haven't really made a lot of progress on them, but each of the binders will contain the bank reconciliation, the revenue postings, expenditure reports, and general ledger details as well as budget, revenue, and all the journal entries for all of the modules. So they'll all be in one binder, easy reference. I did begin with some of the reconciliations, and one of the things that the auditor had talked about just this morning was creating a cash receipts report for each department. Very few outside offices maintain a real cash book or even a cash receipts worksheet. So I'm going to make up, now that I have an idea of what user departments actually receive, I'll make up a departmental specific Excel spreadsheet where they can enter in each deposit. They can either do it on the computer or manually. Everything will be tracked by either a license number or any kind of number that would numerically reference to that specific deposit.
Start them out putting it on the computer. Don't even go manually. Let them put it on the computer.
That's fine.
Do it for you that way, okay?
That's fine. Each of those then will be tied in so that monthly that'll be submitted to me, hopefully by the 10th of the following month. Each user department will have all their cash receipts from the banks actually affixed to the cash receipts report so that they can prove that before it gets to me. Then I'll tie it into the appropriate bank reconciliation. It'll protect the user department to confirm that they turned in $1,000, and it'll protect me to say I received $1,000. It'll also offer a complete detail for every penny received by any of our employees, that everything ties in with the bank reconciliation and the general ledger.
Excellent.
It should provide just another level of detail and proof reinforcement that everything.
And a place
is
where
okay.
you can trace back, which
Absolutely.
you don't have now.
Right. It
Yeah.
also kind of puts the onus for making sure that the receipts are correct with the person that actually received it. So hopefully it'll
That's a good,
add a
that's
little level.
extremely
of
good.
Yeah. Another thing, it'll show the attorney, I'm sorry, not the attorney, you can print. It'll prove to the auditor that we're in compliance with the statutory 48-hour rule, that we are getting our deposits.
So we love that rule.
It's great. I'm going to tell the auditor that for the first quarter of the year, it's more of a 48-day rule than a 48-hour rule, but. I'm
He
not
didn't
sure.
like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure he saw the humor in that.
Knowing this auditor?
No.
Yeah. One thing that did come up that was just yesterday, the auditor asked me to do a very simplistic, seemingly easy request to print a check register for the escrow checks cut last year. I made the
Doesn't happen.
discovery, no, I made the discovery that I was unable to do that. I couldn't furnish even a simple report to that effect. The reason is, all of the manual checks that were written last year were never included in the computer system at all. There was never a purchase order created. There was never a check input into our finance
This
system.
was something we discovered in 2008 and should have been corrected 25 months ago or more.
The lack of that makes me unable to create a report to provide the auditor to say, yep, everything is here and accounted for. I ended up just giving him the checkbook and saying, here, look through the stubs. In 2012, just to give you an idea of kind of what I was working up against, everything now is in a computer system. There's still physically manual checks, but for each bill I receive from a professional, I'll use Mike, I get a bill from him for a developer's escrow account. It gets coded, we create the purchase order, Kim approves it, yep, that's a legitimate thing. It comes to you guys on the bill list. The bill list is a permanent record.
Right.
Any taxpayer can come see it at any point.
Right.
It's there permanently. After that, you guys sign off on it, we cut the check, even though it's manual, it gets entered into the system. So that 3 years from now, somebody wants to look back and say, hey, how much did we pay Mike Finelli for Joe's Smoke Shop escrow? It's all right there. It's easy reference. It's transparent. It's easily accessible. These are-
Greenwich doesn't allow smoke shops. Okay.
Oh, this is just a nice cigar place, something.
It's the issue
That's
that.
car wash, Mike, let's go, let's
Oh,
talk
the car
about
wash.
that.
Remember the one?
This just pinpointed the issue that those records are really not accessible. They might be right there, but I don't even know how purchase orders were done. There's no reference point that I
The
could.
request was made by the professionals to the finance department, and they issued a check.
I don't know if they went through the bill list.
I don't believe that they did, because the
Yeah, I have no
the
idea.
bill list is general fund. and-
This was a finance department that didn't have a general ledger, so I don't know
Yeah.
why we'd be surprised to hear this.
Now that we're all fixed up, we have accountability, we have visibility, and everything should be great for escrow. But one thing you may note, there's a huge portion of the bill list that has closed count for resolution.
Yeah.
These are all the escrow accounts that were previously approved on the resolution, but because we have to create a purchase order and cut a physical check, they're reappearing here.
What are we down to now? I know that we started out with over 100 and something.
Yeah, there were 105. This gets rid of, I think, 32. So there's still a lot of work to do. But I'm hoping that the statement that is this thick.
And we only have one active escrow that I know of.
No, there's.
No, there's
I
one.
would say
Yeah.
five or six.
Yeah, there's, yeah, we're active.
5 or 6 that we're actually working with out of 105.
If there's 105 total,
It was,
yeah, it's a small percentage, yes.
Baby steps.
2 of those accounts are ours, too.
Oh, great, even better.
I mean, that was all that I had.
I have a question for you.
Yeah, that was delicious.
Did you have anything?
Resolution 159. Oh, I
Yeah.
can bring that up now.
Dan, did you have anything? for-
Yeah, I guess I have one question. On the stuff on balance that's marked as negative, so does that mean that that area has gone over their budget?
You should only see that on a sub-account, and yes, that would mean that in that sub-account, we've spent more than what we anticipated we were going to. You can see right in administration, a lot of that continuing education is really for the clerk, so that negative, where it has in the expenditure column, the minus 1,880, that's really a correction to move that money down to the clerk's account where it should be.
This is all like one amount on the budget. And then
Yeah.
you divide it up.
Okay, no, because then my next question would be, is then what do we do then if that department has already spent their money? If that's the way that is, the way you just.
I don't think
explained
it-
does
Yeah,
not.
no, it's not.
So, okay, so I'm
We
good.
guesstimated when we
Yeah.
were doing that, just to start to divide things up, because it was never done this way
Yeah.
before.
But that'll also help in next year's preparation
year
in terms
will
of
be
we'll
so much
know,
easier.
you know, in terms of this is what that number is totally comprised of, you know, and then we can, rather than just picking numbers out of,
Yeah,
you know, the air.
that's a different, so that you have more information about each one of the areas.
Nice work.
Do we need to, should I take care of this resolution now, 60?
Oh, yeah, keep on just giving you your reminder. I had a resolution for chapter 159. In addition, the fire chief brought to my attention that the funds were finally received for the 2010 pass-through grant. The amount was $21,666.75. He was all excited to spend that money until I told him we have to physically get it legally into our budget before we can spend anything. So this, the purpose of this is to request that the state allow us to put that into our budget, the revenue and the appropriation, so that he can go ahead and spend that money.
Excellent.
Okay, thank you. And with that explanation, can I have a motion to adopt Resolution 12-60,
I'll make a motion.
requesting approval of items of revenue and appropriation in accordance with NJSA 48-4-87?
I'll make a motion.
Second,
Roll call, please.
Perez?
yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
Royal?
Yes. Now, while we're on with resolutions, can I have a motion to adopt Resolution 2012-61, which is a municipal tax lien redemption in the amount of $3,173.28 for Block 23.12, Lot 17?
I'll make a motion.
Second,
Roll call?
Perez?
yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
Royal?
Yes. And can I have a motion to adopt Resolution 2012-62, municipal tax lien redemption in the amount of $21,845.89 for Block 2312, Lot 20?
Make the motion.
Second,
Roll call?
Perez?
yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
Royal?
Yes. Can I have a motion to adopt Resolution 2012-63, municipal tax lien redemption in the amount of $1,092.08 for Block 23.21, Lot 39?
Make the motion.
Second,
Roll call?
Perez?
yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
Royal?
Yes. Can I have a motion to adopt Resolution 2012-64, municipal tax lien redemption in the amount of $1,100.62 for Block 23.20, Lot 23?
Make the motion.
Second,
Roll
Perez?
call?
Perez?
yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
Royal?
Yes. And a motion to adopt Resolution 2012-65, in the amount of $1,120.90 for block 23.21, lot 36.
Make a motion?
Second.
Roll call.
Perez.
Yes.
Miliani.
Yes.
Toriello.
Yes. And should I address, I'm going to address resolution 2012-66 now, which is a resolution to extend the date for the submission of third quarter tax bills.
Make a motion?
Second.
Any comment? Roll call?
Perez.
Yes.
Miliani.
Yes.
Toriello.
Yes. And resolution 2012-67 is a resolution for, hold on a second, the South Warren Municipal Alliance, which is seeking a grant in the amount of $39,251 for, this is, I guess, these are funds that will not be specifically allocated to Greenwich
No,
Township.
it's the county.
They're the county as a
It is the county,
whole,
yeah.
but it is for the purpose of fighting alcohol and drug abuse.
Yes.
And we need this resolution in order for those funds to come from the state to the county
Right.
to
Every
benefit
town-
our local
Every
residents.
town that participates has to do a resolution
Right.
for this.
I just want
And
to,
this is just Southern Warren County.
This is, yeah.
correct, it's Alpha, Greenwich, Lopakon, and Pohattan.
Yes.
Right, okay. Can I have a,
Second.
any comment? Roll call?
Perez.
Yes.
Miliani.
Yes.
Toriello.
Yes. And now, this is a first reading of ordinance 2012-12, which was an ordinance providing funding for improvements to playground equipment and facility and appropriating $10,000 from the capital fund balance. So this is a resolution
This is an
I'm sorry, this is an ordinance to, thank you. This is an ordinance to have $10,000 allocated from our capital
Right.
expenditure to fix the playgrounds, which we discussed at the last meeting
Right.
in terms of some of the safety issues
The
that
safety
this
issues that we
is
have.
allocated
Yes.
to rectify.
So, I mean, I have, yeah, and it is a new format, thanks to Lorraine and her wizardry with access to other towns' ordinances. How the previous ordinances we've done for years here don't really give too much detail as to where the money's coming from and things like that. So she revised it, so it's very detailed. Now, one of the things to be addressed and questioned here is $10,000 is the allocation, and that is for the mulch, and that is for the repair of the equipment or replacement of the equipment at the municipal park back here behind the municipal building. It's the things here. Dan had asked, and I said it's up to him, and you can carry it from there, Dan, as to if we make any amendments to this.
Yeah, I had asked if, we had the new pavilion that was built up in Stecker Field, and it currently has no seating, has no garbage cans up there. Now, we had talked about we could get funding from Clean Act for the garbage can.
The garbage can cost of $618. I have Recycling Clean Communities money. It's a grant that's issued to the town. We have quite a bit of funds in there. We definitely have more than $618. That is the purpose of those grants, is to purchase, like I have here, the municipal building and the parks and things.
And of course, there would be the blue cans as well for
the recycling.
the recycling.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but the blue cans for the recycling, I can get them for free. They're from the county, so I can get the blue cans like I have here. Plus we have excess stacked in there.
So where's the estimate?
Well, it's right here. It's this.
No, for the picnic, this is the
Oh,
picnic table
yeah,
stuff?
and then with this amendment that we're looking to put forward on this ordinance, we need tables also. So the tables, it would supply 3 tables and actually 4 tables in all, 4 picnic tables, 3 regular tables, and then 1 handicap table. So this way we can make sure that we take care of anyone who's handicapped, wheelchair bound, anything like that. So that's what this quote is that's here. It'd be about $2,000 40 tables. Those were the cheapest prices that I could find, if I think I remember right.
3,000.
Well, there's a $200 tax on here.
No, the tax would be eliminated.
The tax, so we're talking 2614, but that's minus the 618 for the garbage cans, because we wouldn't put this garbage can in with our,
Not a good grant.
if we have grant money, we wouldn't put this in a cap ordinance.
Right.
You could, if you're anticipating a grant that's been received already, it would just be noted as a line in this that they, say, if you're gonna anticipate $15,000, 10 of it could come from the general capital fund surplus, the remaining balance, several,
Well,
I don't remember what it.
I guess the question is how, do we know what the cost is that pertains to the original $10,000 that we're, with this ordinance, doing? We don't even know if the ordinance, if there's enough money, or do we have too much money?
There's enough money. There's enough money available to
For
fund
just
this
the
and
playground.
For the playground.
For the playground?
Right. So that is what I said, he would have to bring this up tonight, because I have it good to go for the 10 grand for the park. But if the township committee decides that it would be okay or whatever, we would add 1377 to the 10, and the other picnic table is 619. And maybe a difference of freight too. But the freight, I'm thinking, is, it takes some money off for those cans.
What do we have in the account?
Just recently, I canceled $74,000 from other
Yeah.
projects. So all that money, plus the couple of thousand that had started in there, is sitting in general capital waiting to be appropriated.
So we could change this ordinance if you guys decide to, you have to make a motion to do it.
And adopt it as amended. I don't think we should have the, if you have grant money for the,
Yeah, the garbage cans are not going to be part of this ordinance.
Yeah.
Because we have money, recycling money that is in our budget. and clean communities.
I'm still hesitant to increase the amount of this ordinance when we don't know what the costs of the upgrades or what we need are in the park. This may very well be enough money in the ordinance.
Well, we had talked about this, that we could cancel. The mulch itself is 5,000. The mulch itself is 5,000. I have to replace the swings, the chains, the bolts.
but we don't have a price yet.
It's about $4,000.
Okay, so then there's $1,000 more than we needed in the
Approximately,
10,000. So
right.
that
But I don't
goes to
know-
Elaine's point.
But I don't know what with the shipping is going to cost.
Here's my suggestion. Rather than us speculate, why don't we find out exactly what it's gonna cost, see if there's anything left over from
And
the
do the ordinance for
$10,000.
the amount, so we don't have to go through canceling and adding and.
No, because if I do an ordinance for $10,000 for municipal park renovations, that was specific for this, I cannot go buy picnic tables. We ran into this before for a capital ordinance when we did the Stecker Field.
I did kind of account for that. The title is Improvements to Playground Equipment and Facility. So a picnic table could be included in your facility. You just have to be careful that everything that you're planning on paying out of this is legally bondable and has a 5-year life. Anything that you're going to fund from an ordinance, whether it's a capital or bond ordinance, has to meet those characteristics.
Do we know that these tables meet these characteristics, that they're at least 5 to 20 years or whatever?
I don't know, honestly, I don't know anything about
According
it.
to the vendor, they do have, we need the 5 years.
Okay, does it say that on here?
I could probably get that right.
Okay, why don't we wait?
I think,
I can't wait on this ordinance for the 10 because I have a time frame with the insurance company.
I understand, but that's a separate, in other words,
Right.
just in this conversation, what I heard loosely is that we have $1,000 more by our action tonight than we need to address the playground. That can go toward, that covers almost the cost of the picnic tables. I think Elaine's point is we shouldn't over appropriate. Okay, let's appropriate what we need, but not a penny more. So let's start with the 10 because that is a safety issue for the children.
Right.
We can have that rectified, and in that process, we'll know exactly how much left over of the 10. And then next month, we can do an exact appropriation for the balance.
If there's more that's necessary.
If there's more that's necessary. Maybe
Okay,
there'll be
okay,
enough.
but the only thing I'm gonna say with this is if I do the 10, and and I have the shipping and freight, and let's just say I spend $9,000, flat out 9,000 for the mulch and all the things, that only leaves me with $1,000. I can't get the table because it's $13.77,
Right.
and I can't get the handicap.
Right.
So I won't have enough money to
I understand, but
finish
then-
that project, so then I would need to do another ordinance with another advertisement and another second reading to do that.
So don't
That's
you
all
have
I'm
to do
saying.
that anyway if we increase this?
No, you're
No.
you're on first reading tonight.
We have, so it has to be this because then I'm gonna advertise it, and then you can't increase it next month because I've advertised it as written, correct?
Correct, it'd be a material change if you're
And
going
if there's an
to
over appropriation, can we,
Then she can just cancel it.
you can
And
cancel
we
the
don't have to
difference?
advertise or do anything like that. She can cancel it.
Instead of waiting like 5 years to cancel,
Oh, yeah.
we
As
cancel. and
So then let's do that,
Absolutely.
and then anything that's left over, we'll cancel
That's how-
next month. Okay,
Okay.
that's fine. That's fine.
I mean, I can't expend the money until after second reading.
$12,000?
Okay, you can amend it to 12, and then, because we haven't made the motion on it yet. So,
Well, actually, I did read it already, but we didn't have a motion, so I can just reread it. 12,000 then?
12,000.
Okay, so, let me just reread then, I guess. First reading as amended, of ordinance 2012-12, providing funding for improvements to playground equipment and facility and appropriating $12,000 from the general capital balance.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Comment?
Thank you.
Roll call?
Prez,
Yes.
Milioti,
Yes.
Torriello.
Yes. Okay, now, we have with us tonight Stan Prater from JCP&L, assuming
Yes.
Stan. And he had written to me, I don't know, sometime in between last month's meeting and tonight, and requested an opportunity to address the Township Committee, and invited him down tonight. We'll place you first on.
Sorry, there's only 3 of us.
Yeah. Well, if you want to come up to the
Okay,
podium,
very good.
Stan, and, no, thank you.
First of all, thank you, Mayor, for allowing me to be here tonight, and committee members. I just wanted to come out and introduce myself, Stan Prater, Jersey Central Power and Light, 300 Madison Avenue, Morristown, New Jersey. I am the representative for the town of Greenwich. So if you have any concerns with anything electrically from a municipal perspective or residential, I would be your first contact. I would say, if you are out of power, call it in first, and then call me, so I have something to reference. I do want to just also say, since last year, we've learned a lot from the storms, and we had the October snowstorm, and then we had the August Irene in August. And we have enhanced our website. So I would encourage you to go to our website. It's www.firstenergycorp.com. And I'm going to leave you some information so you don't have to write it down. If you go to the website, we use a Google or a Bing map where you can look at your outage online, find out how many people are out in your county, your town, and also we have messaging on there. For instance, if we just been hit with a series of thunderstorms, some thunder and lightning storms for the last several weeks, and we would put a message on there where you could get ice and water, where your residents could get ice and water. If they're out for more than 24 hours, we have partnerships with local ShopRites, King's, local grocery stores where residents can go and get ice and water. I know a lot of residents in this area are on well water. They can't flush their toilets, they need to refrigerate
That's me.
medicines, and so we would give you that kind of information if you are on well water. If you're a critical care customer, some of your residents are on medical oxygen, those types of things. We want to get them registered so we know where they are. I think we'll send you a letter every year for the ones that are registered so that we know where they are. Now, if they are not registered with us, they have to complete a form have a physician fill the form out, sign off on the form, and then we will then certify that they are critical care. But if you know Mrs. Smith on 1 Main Street has just had a heart attack, and you consider her critical care, she may not be registered with us. So we encourage you to register all those folks who would need some type of machinery or equipment for life support. The website, on the website, you can report outages. You will get a instant notification rather quickly that we received the outage. That's your tracking mechanism to say that your outage is in process, it's been reported, and we'll give you a time of repair and also let you know when it's completed. The same is also for streetlights. I know Councilman Perez and I had just had a conversation on the way up here about streetlights. So if you wanted to report a streetlight, you can go right to the website, give us a poll number. If you don't have a poll number near a street intersection, and you'll get a notification to say we've got your streetlight report, and when it's fixed, we'll also notify you that way. You can do it for multiple streetlights, except more than one. So we can do that. We can take orders for more than one. The website is also smartphone compatible. During this series of outages that we had in 2011, a lot of people, once you lost power, they had no way of basically finding out updates. So if you have a BlackBerry smartphone, you can go on our website that way and find out information. So again, we encourage you to put a link on your website for your residents, so that will alleviate a lot of questions from you and help them to also report things. So again, I have some brochures here with my business card on it for council. And if you have any questions, feel free to answer those questions or any questions from the public. But again, I just wanted to put a name with a face so you know who I am.
Appreciate that.
And just to come up to let you know that I do represent your best interests. So.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for the information.
Yeah.
And we're in the process of revamping our webpage.
Sure, but
So, putting a link on there will definitely be something
Should have
we'll do.
this information as well, because thank you.
John has,
Because in the event that a light is out, it is responsibility.
the police chief, call, police chief is notified to call.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Rich Cuzzo?
Rich, okay.
Yes,
Also said,
Stan,
you
quick
know,
question.
Yes.
When you talked about
that
the
we were
critical
talking,
care,
Elaine and I had
is there an
talked in
actual
the past about,
form that someone,
solar
that I can
panels
get a copy
on the
of?
street.
Yes.
That A, I can
We
get it
agree,
on,
I
I'm
said
kidding. I talked to
they
you
don't do that.
Oh, okay.
You
You have
the form, so I can get it on the
Said it,
website, and I
there
can
is,
also put it,
the
we have a
different type of
Greenwich
light.
Gazette that goes out monthly, so I can
Light
send it
days
on to the
money,
residents,
that
see
could be
that,
used to
and
save
it is,
money, stuff
they
like
can
that.
fill it out and then send it to you.
Could you email me tomorrow?
Yes.
And then I'll yeah, email me and I'll send you the form back.
Okay.
Do this one at a time. Yeah, Dan,
Yeah.
Dan and I were just talking about there's different kind of lighting that is more energy efficient.
Yes.
So can we, is there anything that needs to be, I guess, as lights need to be replaced, is there something that we can just maybe agree to switch over to that technology?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
As time goes?
What I told Dan on the way up here is, he asked me about solar. And our franchise territory, we do not supply solar panels for streetlights. PSE&G does it in their service territory. We don't. We do, our energy efficient bulb is called the high pressure sodium light. That's our most energy efficient light. We have a mix of lights. Older lights are incandescent lights and mercury vapor lights. What we're doing is, as they burn out, because we don't have them in our inventory, we're replacing them with the high pressure sodium light. I also told Dan that I will look at your inventory of lights and see what you're being billed for. And where it makes sense, we can switch out some so you can see some cost savings. You're not going to see a cost savings on every light. Depends on the type of light and the wattage. So I will investigate that for you and see what I can do to help out from a budgetary perspective.
That'd be great.
But to answer your question, but yes, as those lights go out, those older lights, we will replace them with a more energy efficient light bulb. Yes.
Yeah, we have for years wondered why Stecker Field is so pulling so much
Energy.
energy.
Is
we
that a
have
park or
nothing.
ball field?
It's a
Yes.
ball field that has no lights on it, and we can't understand why it's pulling so much energy.
Okay,
So I'm
well,
sure Dan talked to you about that already, because I talked to him.
well, we didn't talk about Stecker Field, but if you could give me I'm sure there's a bill or an account number for Stecker Field that you're paying for. If you, Kim, if you could email me that account number, I'd be glad to look at it.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yes. Yes.
I was just gonna ask a quick question. Mike Finelli, I'm the township engineer, and over the years, I've kind of been the one contacting JCP&L primarily for streetlight repair issues and so forth. I've always dealt with the Washington office.
Yes.
Lynn Geiger in
Yes,
particular.
yes.
I've worked with her for a long time.
Sure.
I don't even know if she's the right person, but she gets it done anyway.
Yeah,
So
she's a planner scheduler for the Washington.
do I continue to do that, or do I now call you
Well,
or contact you?
If you-
If I'm even gonna be involved, let's say hypothetically.
if you have a street light out, you should be calling it in to the 1-800 number or reporting it on the website, not to Lynn. If you have a project that you're looking to do or want more information about, Lynn is your contact. All right, so for a regular street light, you should be reporting it, one, via the 800 number or the website. But let's say you want to put up some lights in a new park that you were just talking about, sounds like a playground. And you want to get an idea of, what it would cost you, where would they be located. We contact Lynn. Lynn would have a layout technician come out to survey that, and then you can use her as a point of contact.
Okay.
I just don't, Lynn is a planner scheduler, and she's good in the office, and she'll help, she's great, she's fantastic.
No, she's
You
incredible.
know,
help. She's a pleasure.
But the 800 number basically collects all of that data, gives you a reference number, so if you leave or somebody else picks up on that and says, okay, what's going on with this, I got an account number, they can call in and track it by that notification number. And Lynn can do the same thing, but she's just, it's a little bit outside of her job description to take in the streetlights. And I'm sure she won't, she probably will if you call her, but that's not
Well,
her
I think
position.
in many respects, just because I've known her and worked with her for such a long time, I
Yeah,
think
she's
done
not
me
gonna tell you
favors.
no. She's not
Right,
gonna
she's just
tell you no.
she's gonna do me a favor,
Sure.
just take care of it.
Yeah,
So, okay,
yeah.
thank you. Nice meeting you, good luck.
Nice meeting you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, thanks for
coming.
having me. Okay.
I'm going to just jump a little bit. Township website, we are in the, I guess, beginning stages of revamping the entire website. It's not user-friendly. It doesn't provide any useful information, in my opinion. It's difficult to navigate, and as part of that process and listening to Stan, we'll include, a link. I like the idea of registering, for those special needs residents, and we'll provide more useful information rather than what we have up there now, like photos from a 2008 storm or whatever we have up there. It's just really of no use to anybody. But it's going to take some time, and in that regard, in communicating with my God, I'm having a moment.
Dave,
Thank you, Dave. In communicating with Dave, he was reaching out to various vendors, and I'm assuming that's what this Nixle is, right, in terms of the emergency. We can now, I think what we're going to have to start to do is to have a repository where people can register and sign up their email addresses, and they're captured. And the way that rec sends out a blast phone call about registration for soccer, we can, through this service, and it's free, it is zero cost to the taxpayer, on emergencies, they will send out blast notifications to email, whether or not it's storm-related, power outages, hurricanes, evacuations, all of those types of things. And that's something that we'll be providing, you know, on the webpage. And, you know, they'll provide other notices too, you know, for a cost, but at least with dealing with the, you know, the health and safety, you know, we can have those things done for free. So those are like the types of things that we're starting to work on. And I just wanted to kind of update everyone on that. So if anybody has any suggestions, I know Lorraine, are we up and running yet with the tax bill access?
Not with the payments, the lookup is there, but I was kind of bragging to Elaine just a little while ago, saying, look how cool this is, and it wasn't fully functioning. So
Okay.
I did send an email out to hopefully get that corrected, but the lookup is
I do
available.
think, and as we're talking about this, I think it's important, and we're going to be working on various ways to get the message out to the residents. But we talked about third quarter bills going out. Maybe we can provide notices in there about, you know, that, you know, if you can prepare a standard, you know, notice to direct people, let's get that in there. Even if it's not working full, maybe the notice can say it's in the infancy stages.
Yes.
You know.
It should be done by the time.
Yeah, okay, but what, you know, it's, even if we have to put that disclaimer, let's at least get the message out here that they're having this additional tool
In both
for
sewer
them.
and taxes.
Yes, yes. Okay. Just cross this off here.
Mayor, there's one thing I forgot to say before when we talked about the thank yous to the different people and stuff like that. You mentioned recreation, that came to mind about their can system. One of the things that they did during that, you know, that incident with Mr. Pickle was that they used their can system to send out a help, a notice out to the residents, to the township and stuff like that. And I just wanted to mention that. I completely forgot about that.
Is that only to the rec people? Yeah, that's only to the
That's
rec.
only
Yeah,
to
because
their, but they did use their can system to go out to the public to say that, you know, help is needed and everything
That's
else.
very nice.
And it was Mark Hellman in particular who put it out there.
Okay, we'll add him. Thank you. I just wanted to update everybody on the Lopakon Township asphalt plant litigation. Our briefs, township briefs, were either filed today or will be filed tomorrow, so we're still in the filing stages. But I would imagine, I don't know, Brent, what do you think a guesstimate would be for oral argument? They'll have to respond, I would say another.
2013?
No. I would say,
December 2012.
you think so? I don't think so. I think before the pumpkins are all, we'll hopefully see that. And additionally, and regrettably, the township received a notice of tort claim filed by 189 Stryker Associates, threatening litigation against Greenwich Township. And I just want to say for the record that it's bad enough that we have been forced to fight the officials from Lopakon Township in order to protect the health and safety of Greenwich residents. And now the asphalt plant has threatened to file what is patently frivolous litigation against me as the mayor and other township committee members simply for taking the necessary action to protect Greenwich residents. And I want the record to be clear that we will not give in to these thugs or their bullying behavior. And shame on them. And I just want it to be clear that this township committee will continue to do and to take any and all steps to ensure the health and safety of our residents are protected. The next item on the agenda is the abandoned property on Washington Street. I don't know the specific address. We all know the yellow house. I'm gonna-
108 Washington Street.
Okay.
Only because the police were there today, Gordon Kobler called. A homeless man was trying to break into the house.
Yeah.
They arrested him.
Here's the problem. I've been a resident of the town for 5 years. It's been abandoned at least since I moved in. It is unsafe. There is a notice on there that it is unsafe. And if the home was owned by any one of us in this room, we would have an affirmative obligation undertake the necessary repairs to make sure that it had a certificate of occupancy. And the fact that it's bank-owned doesn't give them a free pass. And I really believe that we need to undertake whatever steps to force the bank to either fix the home up or knock it down. Those are the two options, and there is no third. And it needs to be done at their cost. And whatever the steps are, I'm looking to Brent for
Yeah,
this
well,
now.
you have a housing code ordinance in place that outlines the steps, exactly what needs to occur here.
Well, then, is it a Dave Barretto issue? Or is
it- Kim Pasquale.
It's whoever your health officer is. Who's your health officer?
It's designated in there that I am the housing
Okay.
code official.
Okay, so there is a whole process here,
You're many hats.
includes notice of a hearing.
Yeah.
I mean, and it goes through, it's very detailed.
Okay, step one is what?
Step one is that the health officer may determine that a dwelling is unfit for human habitation if she finds that conditions exist in such dwelling which are dangerous or injurious to the health and safety of the occupants of such
I'm
dwelling.
retracting this. I don't believe I'm the
The-
health officer.
the-
I am the housing,
Right.
property maintenance.
We are all.
We are
Yeah.
all the
The
board of
house,
health.
but this isn't
We are all.
Yeah.
This
we
isn't
are
the
all-
board of health.
But
This
it-
is the county health
It
department.
begins with the health officer determining if the building is unfit.
Okay, and
Then-
Joe's
then-
mayor is the health
Then
officer.
there is a notice that goes out, this would be, I suppose, to the bank, notifying of a hearing, which will be held,
By the way, there's already a notice on the door that determines that it's unfit.
not less than 10 days, no more than 30 days after serving a complaint, there's a hearing. Then there's an order of the Board of Health to repair or demolish the building. And then if there's non-compliance, then you have the authority to do that and assess the costs back to the property.
Right, and I think that's really where we need to go, we need to do it. So,
Under the property maintenance ordinance, they are completely in violation. With that, as with the health officer, we have a health department here in the town, which is the Township Committee.
right,
So the mayor, as being the chairman of the health, the Board of Health,
The Board of
Board of
Health.
Health here,
Mhm.
and I'm the secretary, the mayor then would, you could have Dave Renico with you or whatever, and Pat Dottie, the construction official.
There's already a notice on the door.
there's already
Well,
notice.
the
and this is
notice on the
thing.
door is from when the previous owner, who's deceased, the house had caught on fire, and then the building department, Pat Dottie, Wayne Dagan, I'm sorry, put the, on the door.
That
not
goes
to
back
go-
to Wayne Day.
Yes.
No, I don't think so.
Yes, it is,
Wow.
it's Wayne Dagan, because I already looked at the
Wait,
sign.
let her finish, because I suspect what she's gonna say is what it says on the door, that it's unfit,
It
right?
is, you cannot go back in there
Okay.
until, but she
We've
moved
done that
back in.
already.
No,
She
no.
moved back in.
So it doesn't.
No, there has to be a notice of hearing is what I'm talking
Yeah.
Okay, so, but I'm saying, but we've already done step one of this process.
Okay, well
as
then-
far as I'm concerned, so
then-
let's have the hearing,
Right.
and
Yes.
let's get it done.
I
The
would
home needs to be
send
fixed
an
or
official
knocked down.
notice to the bank
Yeah.
and tell them that they're in violation of our property ordinance.
Right.
And then we're gonna have a hearing.
Yeah, no, I was very happy to see that you have, it's very detailed.
Great,
Yes,
great.
absolutely. The planning department.
So let's make sure, do we need to authorize anybody to have
Are there
Brent follow
any
up
other
with this?
properties like this anywhere else so we can?
Not
Yes.
to this degree.
I see a hand
Brent.
raised in the background and I heard another yes,
Yes.
so maybe we should do them all.
So,
Yeah.
well, we have the Bradford.
For
With the
3
Brad-
years, I've
Bradford
been
is
talking
not.
about 102 Bradford Lane. It's
Right.
abandoned.
Mhm.
The inside, you would not believe. the house.
Okay, are you familiar with this property?
Yes.
She knows about
Okay.
it.
There's also a house on Jackson.
Grass has been cut one time this year.
But they're not unfit to be, I don't know about the one on Bradford,
Let's have it inspected.
we can have it inspected, but what
I
I'm
have to
saying is the
inspect it
house
also.
that's on Washington Street
Carefully.
is literally falling
Don't go
down.
inside.
Hmm? The one on Bradford would probably have to be condemned, only because of the inside condition of it with the
I would
garbage.
assume that since we've been, Bradford has been on our boilerplate for a long time, especially with the lawn and the lack of maintenance and all of that, there would have been some sort of other action that, there should be a lien on the property and
We
there
haven't
also
placed
should,
a lien.
Peter was supposed to place
No,
a lien.
I know, he never did.
The banks are dragging their feet, they say, because of the
Yeah, but there's
government.
still supposed to be a lien.
I even hired a lawyer to find out about it.
Let's talk about maybe implementing I'm assuming no taxes have been paid, right?
Yes, the
The
taxes are
taxes.
paid.
The taxes are paid, the bank is paying.
Mhm.
There's a house on Jackson
The bank
that's
does not own
filled
it.
with mold
They're not paying a tax.
by the
They can't.
multi-purpose
She
field.
says to me,
It has mold in the house?
Yeah,
Is it
How do
empty
people
and
know that?
abandoned?
it's empty, abandoned. It's right adjacent to the multi-purpose field. It's owned by the bank. It's
Well, and you can see in through the window, or is there people going in there, or?
neighbors complain that it smells of mold. It's you know.
We have 3 properties now.
Right.
Yeah, but
that are-
this one is critical.
I understand that it's critical, but if we're gonna have people come out and do inspections, let them hit all 3. Let's
Oh,
just,
yeah.
let's just,
And
let's
the
just
one
do
I
it.
sent to you in District 1,
Keep West,
request.
that's under contract.
That is.
It's law.
Oh, yeah?
Mhm. You guys spoke with the new owner to be, yeah.
So they're gonna clean up the backyard?
Everything is gonna.
That's over by me, I know
It's
that
gonna, they're gonna flip it.
Right.
I don't think you need to take any action. You have it all set up in an ordinance that you've obviously already adopted.
Okay, we don't need to authorize you to do anything.
No,
And we notify the bank.
You just follow the ordinance. You've already adopted an ordinance. That's
So
what
we'll
your
set
entire
up here.
procedure, all you have to do is follow it.
Okay, then let's, Kim, you and I will talk about this offline.
I think we're gonna have to sit down with Dave Loretto and.
Yeah,
Pat
I
John.
just, and we can also talk about the sign ordinance too, which I might as well tie into now. You know, we have this sign ordinance to not have these lawn signs all over town, and yet they're popping up like mushrooms everywhere. I asked Kim to follow up with John at DPW, and he did a great job in pulling most of them. I filled up the back of my car with the rest of them. I actually took 2 out of my neighborhood again today. And I think, and while I'm on the subject, please, you gotta talk to, I need an email from John. If you're an employee here in Greenwich, you gotta have an email.
He doesn't
So,
have a computer back there.
He's gonna have to get email. I mean, we just have to, I need to be able to communicate with people by email. If he has a home account, whatever.
Okay.
It's 2012. I need an email from him so I can communicate.
But he doesn't have one in his office though.
Well, then let's figure it out.
No,
Let's
it's
get
his
him.
home, it's his home one.
You're
Let's
talking
get him
about
on
he
board.
didn't wanna-
Yeah.
He has a cell phone.
Well, then I need a cell phone number, I need something, I need to be able to
Okay.
communicate with him.
Want a cell phone?
Yeah,
619-7782.
619,
7782.
okay. When we're talking to Dave Loretto, I understand we have a form letter already that basically tells
Yes.
folks they get 1 free pass, otherwise it's a $1,000 fine.
Mhm.
We need to have those going out. And particularly with all the signs out there,
They pay a lot of money.
we can make a lot of money. So,
The reason,
it's a blight on the town. I can't stand it. I
the
really can't.
reason that this was created,
It's also a safety issue, by the way, because it blocks intersections and everything else.
but the reason this law was created is so that we no longer we have to maintain our scenic vistas, which would be occluded by billboard signs. And that is the reason why that is in place.
And you know what, while we're on the subject, in addition to these little signs here, John needs to go to Home Depot and Lowe's and get rid of those wooden things. They have to go. Those Applebee flags on the corner, they have to go. There's a big wooden monstrosity structure on the corner that doesn't have anything on it. That all has to go. And it should just be taken, because it's a violation of the ordinance. It should be taken and they should get a letter.
Okay.
Or maybe because we have a relationship, if you want to have him stop by and say, remove it, or if it's not removed, we're going to take it, I'm fine with that. But it has to come down.
I think that's better.
It's better to do it that way.
If we go to them first.
Go to them first and tell them, look, here's the ordinance, we're not going to fine you, but you got to remove it.
The
And then-
problem is that all of these things were done, but what happens is management changes.
Okay,
And when management changes, things fall through the cracks, it's not a
do
priority.
it, we'll send them a letter, and we'll make it official that we gave them a free pass, and then the next time it happens, then we just take it. So, but,
So wait, so are you saying, do you want a letter to go to them, or you want John Howell to go take the signs out and go take them up to
no,
the business?
have them go speak to somebody, confirm the meeting with the letter, that they were advised, after the fact. Give them a reasonable time to take it down. I would think 7 days is more than reasonable. And unless somebody disagrees with that, I mean, how long?
And you want John Powell?
I think Dave Barretto.
Then have Dave do it, whoever. That's fine. Let Dave do
Because
it.
Dave can do it on Monday nights when he's out doing his.
Let Dave do it, and then they have to come down. If they're not down in the week, then Dave can ask John to go take
pick
them,
them up.
to go
Right,
pick
right.
them up, including those Applebee flags.
Okay.
Okay, and quite honestly, I hate to be a buzzkill, but there's also that sign at the daycare center on Greenwich Street,
So Rainbow Rascal.
the Rainbow Rascals,
And Rainbow
which
Trail?
actually is at the corner, and that really obstructs
Yeah,
view.
that's really-
That's dangerous.
Okay.
That needs to come down. I mean, it is what it is. Sorry about it, but,
No, that's.
and I know you'll get dirty looks as you drop off.
Good. When I drop off Vinny.
We'll never be able to eat an Applebee's
Yeah,
again.
that's, well, look, I mean, they have plenty of signage.
I know, and there's plenty of
They don't-
businesses that.
We're gonna get you
follow rules.
tables.
And the other thing is, it looks like New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina. We've got all these wooden signs with spray paint. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's just, it's not
Great
appropriate.
taxi cab service.
While we're on the subject of scenic life, over on the scenic byway in the concrete mile here on Route 57, we have another non-compliant
Yes.
usage of that property. And I had raised the issue to John Drill on my own. And I was surprised to receive a memo that he prepared last year that detailed a specific plan of action. And for whatever reason, no action was taken. So I don't know if we need to have a discussion or to authorize it, but there is that property on 57, I'm going to just refer to it as the junkyard, is non-compliant. John's memo details the zoning, the ordinance, what is required, and that he can conduct his business there, but it has to be indoors. Nothing can be outside. Nothing. And he needs to be brought compliant on that property use.
That's the zoning officer. Mike, that's the zoning officer that needs to notify him regarding this?
This is an
I
ongoing.
was
happening.
intimately involved in that property and have been for years, and to be perfectly honest, I've said this on the record many times, I'll go as far to say it's the biggest blighted property in this entire township. That's more of a personal opinion than an engineering judgment.